Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Oba's Trending Gist. Today, we are diving deep into a developing story that has Nigerians talking. The alleged certificate forgery involving Nigeria's Minister for Science and Technology, Mr. Uche Nnaji. Reports of a court case and the issues surrounding his academic records have surfaced. We'll be breaking down a recent Channels TV interview where Minister's spokesperson addressed these serious allegations. Stay tuned as we uncover the different sides of these complex issues. Sit back and take a watch.
And this next leg of our conversation focuses on the controversy of alleged certificate forgery surrounding the Minister of Science and Technology, Mr. Uche Nnaji. And of course, the university in question, UNN, has been speaking, and there was also a court case. Recall this began from about July 2023 when the minister's name came up, for screening. Let's have this conversation and get the minister's perspective. His spokesperson joins us now on the program. Mr. Robert Ngu is the spokesperson to the Minister of Science and Technology and Innovation. Mr. Ngu, thank you for joining us on the Morning Brief.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And reports also came through yesterday that the minister's lawyer argued in court. To set the tone, what is the summary of the prayers of the lawyer in court?
Well, there was an injunction granted by the court. The Honourable Minister sought protection of the court. One, that the school should stop tampering with his academic files, because there was an information that his files was lodged in the Vice Chancellor's office for the last 6 months. Secondly, that the school should release his transcript. And those were granted, those protections were granted. And thirdly, that the supervising authority should do their work by supervising these institutions. Those are the prayers, and they were granted.
I deliberately wanted you to go through those prayers again, but it appears as if they're contradictory. On the one hand, you're asking the UNN not to tamper with his academic records, and on the other hand, you're demanding a release of his transcript. In exercising its right, to access the transcript or to produce the transcript, it must, touch on the academic records of the minister.
They didn't say don't touch. They said stop tampering or manipulating, because there was obvious evidence by what we saw online where things from a personal file of a former student was being released online. That means somebody in the school is deliberately doing that. So we got on the good authority that there were some manipulations going on. And so, the Honourable Minister sought protection of the courts, that they should release his transcript.
Is that your own interpretation, that it's tampering? Because the UNN reserves the right to look into the academic records of its student.
Oh yes, nobody is stopping them from looking. The file is with them. It is their file, and their file is there for them to review, nobody's stopping them. Tampering is a different,
some will say tampering is your own interpretation of the university's rights.
No. The file of a student has no business in the Vice Chancellor's office. You have an acting Vice Chancellor who was a card-carrying member of a PDP. Under normal circumstances, he's not even qualified to be a Vice Chancellor of the school, but he was made acting. And then you have another Vice Chancellor who was in government for decades, and you put a robe, an academic robe, on a politician. So the minister was jittery, because we know this is political, and we know how Enugu politics is, And so in Enugu, PDP has found a way to remain in power for the last 26 years by making sure there are no competition during elections. So what they do is go after whoever they think we challenge them and try to discredit them or find a way for them not to have a political party to run on. So the issue was stop tampering, stop manipulating his files, stop, basically release his transcripts.
All right. Before we get into the politics of it, there are also talks that the minister by himself in admission in the court document has said that the university didn't refused to release his academic records to him, his certificate. So the question is, where did he get the one that he had presented before the Senate for screening, before the SGF for screening? Some are saying that by admission he has said that indeed he forged the one that is with him if the university did not avail him of his certificate.
That is where the problem is. The problem is that everybody is quoting Premium Times. Everybody has seen Premium Time as the Bible or the Quran of journalistic integrity. Everybody you've spoken to say Premium Times said, right? But has anybody actually found out if what they're speculating is true? In the court, there are prayers that were asked. One is, stop tampering with my files. 2, release my transcript. By the way, in May was when he asked for his transcript. He applied for it, he paid for it, and it was not released. So he had to get a court order for you to release his transcript. Why are you not releasing his transcript? That's his academic records. Release it. That's all.
So did he admit or not that the university refused to release his certificate?
My point is, the issue is about transcript. What has certificate got to do with transcript? If you're asking for transcript, why would you talk about certificate? The point is...
But certificate is also important in this conversation.
I understand.
Because the question is, how then did he get through Senate screening before he became minister?
I want to discredit that comment because all I'm asking journalists to do is to do their own independent, do your own independent research in the case. Don't quote Premium Times. Because everybody keep quoting Premium Times.
No, I'm asking you now, did he present a certificate during screening before he became... he got the nod to become a minister?
Yes.
Did he present?
He presented his certificate.
So where did he get that one?
He presented his certificate, which was valid. The screening authorities have screened his certificate and they passed him. You understand? Now, the Minister of the Federal Republic, as a former student, he is not the person to validate a certificate given to him by the school. The school is responsible for validating his certificate. And what did they say? After 2 days search of a 40-year-old record, what did the Vice Chancellor say? Meanwhile, the Vice Chancellor has no business responding to such things. But he took it upon himself in 2 days to search 40-year-old record to say, information available to me, we cannot verify. We cannot attest. From information available to you, what is wrong with your information? What is wrong with the information available to you that you have to keep somebody's file for 6 months in your office, and yet you could not verify something awarded by your institution? You understand? So look at the key issue. From information available to them, they cannot. Which is why the minister asks you, release this transcript. Why do you, if you go to school, to any other school or to a different country, they ask you for your transcript, not for your certificate. There's a reason for that. Because the transcript is more superior. The transcript shows your academic records. The transcript shows, your progress, your graduation level, and all that.
All right.
Which is why he goes for that.
All right. There's so many questions to ask. You really haven't, answered my question satisfactorily. But I'm sure Kayode has follow-up questions for you from Lagos. Kayode, go ahead.
That was quite a start. In this first segment, we had Mr. Robert Ngwu, the spokesperson for the Minister of Science and Technology, address the alleged certificate forgery. He highlighted 3 key prayers from the minister's lawyers in court. First, that the University of Nigeria, UNN, should stop tampering with the minister's academic files, citing information about files being lodged in the Vice Chancellor's office. Second, that UNN should release the minister's transcript. And third, that the supervisory authority should perform its duty of overseeing these institutions. The interviewer, however, pointed out what appeared to be a contradiction, asking the university not to tamper with records while also demanding a release of transcripts, suggesting that releasing them would inherently involve assessing the potentially touching those very records. This raises questions about the precise nature of the alleged tampering versus legitimate access. Now, let's watch the second part of the video. Watch this.
To be clear, in paragraph 13 of the affidavit filed during the court processes, the minister is quoted as saying that I am yet to collect my certificate from the third defendant, that's UNN, due largely to the non-cooperative attitude of the third to the fifth defendants, which is UNN, the Vice Chancellor, and the Registrar. If indeed the Honourable Minister made those comments in the affidavit, it either means he lied under oath if you say that he actually has a certificate that he submitted to the Senate, or what was submitted for his screening was forged. Which one is it?
Okay, go. Basically, you want to know why, and you're still going back to the same question of what Premium Times said. Premium Times has become a repeat offender on misinformation. And so many cases abound where they allege something and they go and quietly apologize. They shoot before verifying. So everybody is quoting Premium Times, and I don't feel comfortable answering anything coming from Premium Times. If channels have done their independent investigation and asked me a question, I will address it. Premium Times is known to be an online publication that goes after their paid sponsors from politicians. And this is all political.
Mr. Ngo, so I want you to stick to the. I understand. I understand your point, and I want us to speak to the issues. Okay, and I am giving you a paragraph from the affidavit. Is that submission wrong? Did he say that under oath or not? This is again. This is for Nigerians. They want to know the truth, and I think this presents a very viable opportunity and platform for the honourable minister to speak his own side without, getting immersed to whatever issues, surround this. So I want us to speak to the issues. Did he make those statements under oath in the affidavit that the university is yet to give him his certificate or not?
What the honourable minister said was that his transcript has not been given to him. You know why? Because from 1985 till date, till 2013, he has never worked for a private, he had never worked for government or anybody that would have asked him for transcript. He's been in the private sector all his life. So for the first time, he's actually asking for his transcript. It has never been given to him. Has never asked for it before. So this case is all about transcript, which he, by the way, applied for in May of this year. He applied for his transcript since May. Till date, they have not given him his transcript, which is why he went to court to ask for the same transcript. So if you go to a court filing and you look at hundreds of pages of an affidavit, you bring out one line that may or may not be there. The fact remains that the purpose of this court case was release my transcript. That's what he asked for. And to date, even with injunction, the school has not released it as of this morning. That's basically what it is.
So you're saying that that line in the affidavit, and I must point out again that these are court proceedings under oath, and the truth must be said. You're saying that he didn't say that he has not gotten his certificate, that what he said is that he has not gotten his transcript. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. The prayer he sought for, which the court gave him the protection.
No, let's be clear. I'm not talking about the prayers. I am talking about his own submissions under affidavit. The prayers are one thing. His own submission to support his claim is another thing. And you understand the court proceedings. He would give his own case.
But you're still quoting what Premium Times alleged. That's why I asked you, have you seen it?
Okay, so here's what we'll do. In front of Nigerians right now, you have the court proceedings. I'm correct, because I saw you were looking at it on your phone. Can you pull it out and read to us the paragraph 13 for Nigerians? Certainly. Is that something you can do right now?
Oh, yes, I can do that.
Yes, please.
So this is suit number FHC/ABJ/CS/1909/2025. Minister of Education is number 1, National University Commissions number 2, University of Nigeria number 3, Professor Simon Otwaya, the VC number 4, Registrar number 5, Professor Gilejafo Ojam, who was the former acting VC number 6, Senate, University of Nigeria number 7. This is an ex parte. 1. The order granting leave to the applicant to issue the prerogative writ of prohibition on the 3rd to the 5th and the 7th respondents from tampering with or continue to tamper with the applicant's academic records at the University of Nigeria in Nsukka. Number 2, an order granting leave to the applicant to issue the prerogative writ of mandamus compelling the 3rd to the 5th and 7th respondent to release to the applicant his academic transcript at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. In addition to 2 above, number 3, an order granting leave to the applicant to issue the prerogative writ of mandamus, compelling the 1st and 2nd respondents to ensure, utilizing their supervisory and disciplinary powers, that the 3rd to the 5th and 7th respondents release to the applicant his academic transcript at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Number 4, an interim order of injunction restraining the 3rd to the 5th to 7th defendant from tampering or continue to tamper with the applicant's academic records at the University of Nigeria pending the termination of this suit. Such order to further orders in this court may deem fit to make.
All right, Mr. Ongu,
and those protections.
Let me pause you for a moment so you can grab a glass of water, just so you're well hydrated. But it's not the orders that we're speaking about here, and I appreciate that you're able to read that to Nigerians. What is the bone of contention is the affidavit, which is his own side of the story, supporting his own claim. And I want us to go to paragraph 13 of the affidavit, not the prayers and the eventual order. I'm talking about the affidavit, if you get my drift here, Mr. Ongu. So it's paragraph 13 specifically that I want you to go to of the affidavit.
Now, what I have here is the court order. I don't have the full affidavit here with me, but if you have it, you can read it.
So, so you can't.
Don't read what premium time.
No, if you're saying that it's not true. I
want the court records.
I understand. If you're saying that is not true, then you need to provide us with what you regard as evidence to counter that. But in the absence of that, you can't keep saying it's not true. For all you care, you may have not seen it yourself. Or have you seen it? And if you have seen it, can you give us? Let's have it.
Okay. Here is what is the issue at point here? That's the most important question. What is the issue at point? The issue at point is a transcript of a former student, an alumni of the school, asking his school to provide his transcript to him. He officially applied May 2025. The reason why he did that was because of the academic robe was put on a politician who has no business being acting VC of a premium University of Nigeria. So he, on good authority, he had information that there was some crazy things going on between the state government and an agent of the state government who was put in charge, who was put on academic robe in the school. Based on that, he's like, you know what? Give me my transcript, because every time, as you see in the history of Nigeria, every time you talk about certificates, somebody say there's no comma here, there's no signature here, there is no number. They keep so. Transcript is a superior document that shows somebody's academic record. So everything about this case is about seeking protection. 1, stop tampering with my file. 2, release my transcript. That is what this is all about. So ask yourself, what has a certificate got to do with your asking for a transcript? Ask yourself that. So
well,
you look at
Mr. Ongu,
hundreds of pages.
Mr. Ongu, I mean, a majority of Nigerians watching have passed through university or even polytechnic or some sort of academic institution, and we need to place it on record. If you say the transcript is superior, why then are you issued a certificate? And let's be clear, a certificate is a formal document awarded to prove that you have completed. Okay, the course, the transcript in itself is to show what you got in different courses. So you took microbiology, you took physics, this is what you scored. But what you get at the end of that process is a certificate. So I find it curious that you say that a transcript is superior to a certificate when it's proven that a certificate is indeed the proof that you have completed your course. Now, the bone of contention here, pardon me, let me just land. The bone of contention here, and as I said, nobody's trying to hang the minister, it's just to get the facts out there for Nigerians. The bone of contention is what certificate did he present to the Senate if that paragraph says he has not gotten his certificate? That is one bone of contention. The second is the school's statements, again, the letter which is said to have been written, and the school, the vice chancellor saying, hey, we have looked and we're unable to confirm that we have his records here. I want you to also speak to issues around the letter saying that he was not able to pass a certain course and he had to retake that course. So those are the issues of contention. Where did he get his certificates from, even for NYSC as well, if indeed he said he had not gotten them?
You asked a very valid question, which is why the Honorable Minister was asking for his transcript. The Vice Chancellor of the university received, or supposedly received, a Freedom of Information letter from Premium Times on the 29th September, right? 1st October was a public holiday. So you have 30th. On the 2nd, he responded after searching through 40-year-old record. And he tells you, excuse me, from available information, from information available to him, he cannot validate the certificate. But what is available to you? What is available to you is a transcript, right? The information available to you is a transcript. So in this case, what you're talking about is, why are you looking for transcripts when certificate is better? But they say, they don't even have a copy of the certificate in their files. Which questions the record keeping as a premium institution? So if it takes you 2 years to search 40-year-old record, a vice chancellor who should be busy, who was just appointed less than 2 months ago, should be busy, he took two days to search through 40-year-old record and said, from information available to me, I cannot. He has created an out for himself. So, which is why the Honorable Minister was wise to say, give me my transcript, which will show everything, including all the questions you're asking. The transcript is there to show. That's what I'm saying. Release it to me.
All right, Mr.
Don't tamper with it.
Mr. Ngo, if I can quickly come in here, and I think it would be great to even have the minister himself speak to these issues. For some people, it may have been a downer yesterday that the minister didn't show up. Because in cases like this, you expect that, oh, he shows up and says, you know, this is the situation. Because I serve Nigerians, I'm accountable to Nigerians, right? So it would be great to have a conversation with the minister. Let's walk through it together. But there's a growing call for him to step aside during this whole process to show that indeed he's in tune with the issues. Is that something he's willing to do?
Well, it goes back to the whole reason for all this campaign. Premium Times was allegedly paid 100 million to start this process.
By who? Because this is a big allegation, Mr. Who paid, and do you have proof?
Allegedly paid 100 million as for starters to start this campaign.
By who? And you have the proof?
If you look at it, I'll come back to that. If you look at the history...
No, I need you to speak to that quickly so we don't lose it in transit. By who? Okay. And do you have proof of this? Because that's a weighty allegation we can't verify.
They were allegedly paid by the state government of Enugu State. That's the person behind the mask.
And where's the proof you have?
100. Okay, we can talk about proof. Okay? That's why I say it was allegedly. So, which is, you know, let the state government defend themselves. But the point remains that this is all politically motivated. And that's what they're good at. And everybody, I'm perplexed that every media outfit in Nigeria is quoting Premium Times. Every media outfit. All of them. Do your independent verification. In 2023, December, another outfit, Gazette, went online. They wrote to the university to verify the academic records of the Honorable Minister. They wrote a letter, sealed and stamped by the registrar of the school, and sent to Gazette publication, quoting when he started and when he graduated. And that was it. So 2 years later, 2025, a new vice chancellor who just came in started responding to things he has no business responding to.
So who wrote a letter to Gazette that published the date of admission and date of graduation?
Okay, Gazette wrote to University of Nigeria.
And University of Nigeria replied, supplying
yes.
date of admission and date of graduation.
Yes, they did.
And you have that letter.
We have
you can
that
make
letter.
it available to
Yes,
Nigerians.
make it available to Nigerians. It's online. It's on public records. Yes,
it's a public record.
Yes,
we would like to cite that, but
yes.
you know that you have made weighty allegations against the Enugu State government, and you can back it up with evidence.
They were allegedly paid. Yes.
Can you back it up with evidence? You have proof of transaction.
We allegedly was people who verbal confirmation, right? So we can find out.
You can back it up with your sources.
We have our sources.
You have your sources.
Yes.
Okay, because the Enugu State government has been speaking through their spokesperson, and the governor is saying the minister should carry his cross, that he's got nothing to do with this. Okay, as we wind down, are you denying the authenticity of the affidavit where in paragraph 13 the minister admitted that UNN has refused to issue him his certificate?
What I'm contesting.
It's not about what you're contesting.
No, I want to.
It's the authenticity
you're quoting
of the affidavit.
Anything that comes from Premium Times, to me, has no credibility. So if you want me to respond to something everybody's quoting Premium Times, if Channel's told me...
You are the spokesperson of the minister.
Yes, I am.
Are you dissociating the minister from that affidavit? You're saying that affidavit didn't come from the minister.
What I'm saying is that, ask yourself, minister is seeking for protection. One, stop this people from messing with my records, because that's what they're doing. Two, release my transcript.
You have not answered the question, Mr. Ungo.
Everything, you're asking me to go through hundreds of records of an affidavit that is not in front of me. You understand? The only thing that you're telling me is that the Premium Times said. How can I respond to that when I don't trust anything that Premium Times is saying?
But the affidavit originated from your principal, from the minister.
The case originated from my minister, yes.
So we can rely on the information that has come through in paragraph 13, where he admitted that the university did not give him his certificate.
He never admitted that. What he said was that he has never received his transcript. Never received his transcript.
Did he receive his certificate from the university?
He submitted records to go through confirmation.
So he didn't receive his certificate from the university?
He received certificate.
He received certificate.
But he's not his job to validate certificate that he received from the school. It is the school's responsibility. And the vice chancellor is telling you, from records available to him, he cannot do that.
Well,
in the second part of the interview, the conversation intensified. The spokesperson reiterated that the minister sought court protection against tampering with his academic files and an order for UNN to release his transcripts. He emphasized that the minister had applied and paid for his transcripts since May 2025, but it had not been released. Mr. Ungu firmly rejected any information attributed to Premium Times, labeling them a repeat offender of misinformation and suggesting their reports are politically motivated. The interviewer pressed further on a specific details from an affidavit filed by the minister, where he allegedly stated he was yet to collect his certificate from UNN. This directly challenged the spokesperson, as it implies the minister might have presented a forged certificate if he didn't officially collect one. The spokesperson skillfully pivoted back to the importance of the transcript as the superior academic record and suggested that the VC, that's the vice chancellor, who he claimed was politically appointed, was involved in the alleged manipulation. He also mentioned that UNN had responded to a Freedom of Information letter by Gazette, confirming the minister's admission and the graduation dates. So my take on all this is, this interview has certainly shed more light, but also raised more questions on the alleged certificate forgery involving Minister Uche Nnaji. The core of the dispute seems to be multifaceted. On one hand, the minister's team alleges political motivation and possible tampering by UNN, demanding the release of his academic transcripts. The spokesperson, Mr. Ungu, repeatedly stressed that the minister officially applied for his transcript in May 2025 and that the university has yet to release it. Even after a court order, He viewed the university's inability to immediately verify a 40-year-old record as suspicious, implying deliberate obstruction or manipulation. He further suggests that the former acting VC, who he claimed was a card-carrying member of PDP, was inappropriately involved. However, the interviewer's persistent questioning about minister's own affidavit, where he reportedly admitted to not yet collecting his certificate, presents a critical point. If the minister presented a certificate during his screening yet stated under oath that he didn't collect it, this raises serious questions about the authenticity of the document he submitted. Mr. Ngu's dismissal of Premium Times as an unreliable source, while a common PR strategy, doesn't directly address the specific allegations of discrepancies in the minister's own court filing. Ultimately, Nigerians are left with a he said, she said situation. The minister claims political witch hunt and university non-cooperation regarding his transcript, while critics point to potential inconsistencies in his presented credentials. For transparency and accountability, it would indeed be beneficial for the minister to directly address these specific points backed by verifiable documents rather than relying solely on claims of political maneuvering. The allegations of certificate forgery against the Minister for Science and Technology remains a significant point of public interest, while his spokesperson has provided a defense. The call for clearer direct evidence continues. We'll keep an eye on this story as it develops. Thanks for tuning into Obas Trending Gist. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more trending news and analysis. See you next time.